For this tutorial we're going to need a 4mm hook, a measuring tape, pair of scissors, needle, 4 stitch markers and a yarn of your choice. Now today I'm using this cake of yarn, exactly the same as what I've used already for the dress, and this is in Turkish, but I think I can translate that to 100% acrylic. So this is a 100-gram ball, 150-gram ball, sorry, and it recommends a 3 to 4mm hook. I have a 4mm hook. So let's get on and have a look at these measurements. So I've come up with some measurements now because it's a round neck yoke. I've never done one before, this is my first attempt, so I've had to do all these measurements. So newborn, we're going to go with 28 centimeters. These are all the head circumference for these sizes. We have 12 to 18 months as well now. So with the round neck yoke we need a multiple of 12, but as you can see here I didn't get a multiple of 12 because the chain would have been too short or too long. So I'm going to show you what you're going to do when we get to this. So for newborn we're going to have 48 chains. Now when you come to the increases, you're going to increase every 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, increase, 1, 2, 3, increase. 0 to 3, 60 chains, increase in every 5. Same as 3 to 6 because there wasn't much difference in the chain. 6 to 9 is 66. So we're going to increase every 5, but we're going to have 6 left over. So I think I'm going to do a 6 to 9 months so I can actually show you what to do. But basically all we're going to do is leave the 6 until we come to our last increase and then just double crochet into the 6 that are left over. It's going to be that simple. So then we come down to 12 to 18 and we increase in every 6. So let's get our yarn and our hook and give this a go. So we are going to put a slip knot onto our yarn, put onto our hook, and whatever size you've chosen you need to make that amount of chains. So I said I was going to do 6 to 9 months, so I'm going to chain 66. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll come back when I have 66. So I've just chained my 66 chains, and as you can see I am at 38 centimeters. So what we're going to do now is chain 2. So we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to double crochet into the 4th chain. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, double crochet, and then we're just going to double crochet all the way down. We're not going to do any increases for this row. So double crochet all the way down and I will meet you at the end. I've just come to the end of my row, finished it with a double crochet. So now I just want to speak to you about the increases. So I've put on here every increase every 4 stitches, 5, 5, 5, 5 and 6. So this is only for round 1, row 1. Row 2 is going to be 5, 6, 6 and so on. And then row 3 is going to be 6 and 7, 7. So you're going to add 1 stitch each row. Hope that's not confused anybody. I will give a demonstration. So let's go newborn. Row 1, you're going to do an increase in every 4 in the 4th stitch. Row 2, you're going to do a increase in the 5th stitch. Row 3, increase into the 6th stitch. Hope that makes sense. So back to our yoke, and we're gonna chain 1, turn our work. Right now we've got to do the counting. So into our first stitch here, so 1, and mine is in every 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in the 5th stitch I'm going to put 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So 1 and 2, and then I'm going to count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the 5th, 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 1 and 2. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is an increase. 1 and 2. So I'm going to meet you when I have my 6 left over, just to show you what we're going to do. It's really simple, but I will turn back on to just show you. So I have just completed all of my increases, so I have 12 increases now, so I don't need any more increases for this row, so I'm just going to simply double crochet into my last rows, my last stitches, sorry. And don't forget about this end stitch here. So we're just going to put double crochet into the second chain. Then we're going to chain 1, turn our work. Right, so this is where the number changes. So I'm going to get rid of this back so it doesn't confuse you. So mine was 5 last time, so this time it's going to be 6. So yarn over into the first stitch, that's 1, 2, 4, 5, and into my 6 I'm going to do an increase, so 1 stitch and 2 stitches into the same stitch. So then start counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase. So again, that is all we're going to do. As you can see, we're taking shape. So I'm going to leave you to do this round, and I will see you when we come to the end. I have chain 1 and finished my row. I'm going to turn my work. This time I need a increase into the 7th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the 7th again is going to be a increase. So 2 stitches into the same, 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So then I'm going to start counting again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's going to be 2 double crochets. So, being said, I think we can do the rest by ourselves. So these increases, so I'm going to do 8, 9, 10, 11 until I get to my yoke size. Let me just get the yoke sizes. So here are the yoke sizes. So I don't actually have one for 12 to 18 months at the moment. Okay, so there we go, 13 centimeters. So I'm going to have to add 12 to 18 onto here. So these are our yoke sizes. So I'm doing 6 to 9. So mine's going to be 11.5. I'm probably going to do until 10.5 because of the when we are attaching, that's going to be like a centimeter by itself. So I'm going to show you where we are going to measure. So we're going to put our yoke together like this. What it should do right now is just do this little bit here so you can see it properly. Okay, so I crocheted a little bit further so you could see the corner properly. So if I get my tape measure, so we're going to measure from this corner here straight down. So mine is measuring right at this point. It's 6.5 centimeters. Okay, so I want at least 10, 10.5. So a few more rows. So if you would like to take your yoke measurement down, sorry I took it away. So there's your yoke measurements, and I am going to finish my yoke, and then I'm going to show you how we attach the yoke together. So I have just finished my yoke, and it's at the right length that I need. So our next step is going to be attaching our yoke together. So I'm going to show you the method I use to work that out. So the first thing you need to do is this last row that you have just crocheted. You need to count all of those stitches all the way around. So I was left with 136 stitches. So I'm going to show you how to work this out. So I'm going to take the 136 and I'm going to divide that by 10, which is going to equal 13 remainder 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that 6 for now, and I'm going to times this one by 3, times this one by 2, times by 2, times by 3 for the bottom ones, but these two, because there's an opening here, are going to be split into 2. So this one is going to be times 3, so 13 times by 3. So that's my number there. So 13 times 3 equals 39. 13 times 2 equals 26. I need to put that side too. And then we know 13 times 3 is 39. So this one needs to be halved, so divided by 2, which is going to equal 19.5. So we run into a bit of a problem because we can't do half a crochet. So for now we will put 19.5. So we have another 6 stitches here. So we're going to add the 0.5 to these. So we're going to take one off the 6 and put it here. So that's going to equal 20. So then we're left with 5. So where are we going to put these 5? So we're going to put 2 up on this one. So that's going to be 41. In fact, we're going to put 3 up here, sorry. So that's going to be 42. And then we've got 2 left. So our last 2 are going to go one that side and one that side. So here we have 42, 27, 27, 20 and 20. So I hope you can do that for yourself. Hopefully I've explained it enough. If not, and you struggle with it, give me this number here for your stitches all the way around and I will work it out for you. So now what we need to do is get our stitch markers, get our yoke. So I've missed stitch markers. So this number here, number 20, we are going to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. Put stitch marker into there. Yours may be a different number, so you count to your number and put that stitch marker in there. So my next number is 27. Don't count your stitch marker stitch. One after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 and 27. I'm going to mark that stitch. Next is going to be 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1 and 2. So that's 42. And again 27. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then just double check that you have the right amount for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There I have my yoke. All my stitch markers are in the right place. So now we are going to look at the chest measurements. So here I have some chest measurements. So for newborn we're going to have 18.5, 0 to 3, 20.5, 3 to 6 is 22, 6 to 9 is 23, 9 to 12, 24, and 12 to 18 is 25. So I am doing 6 to 9, so I need 23 centimeters. So move that to the side. So now what we're going to do is get our yoke back. What we need to do is measure these two. We need to measure the distance between these two stitch markers. So you have your little, for a cardigan it would be over the chest, this would be the opening to the cardigan, and then you go over the shoulder, and then you have the back. So that's what we're going to measure now. So I needed 23 centimeters. So use a different tape measure. So I'm going to measure from this stitch marker to this stitch marker. So I have going around, it's a little bit more fiddly than a square yoke. So yeah, I'm well over that. So that's going to be one chain for me. I think a lot of these sizes will be over for the chest. So if not, if you're under, what you do is, right, so say I'm under 2 centimeters. So you get your tape measure, go to double crochet row, put your tape measure down and see how many stitches fit into that those 2 centimeters. So I've got 1, 2 and 3. So I would do 3 chains under one arm and 3 chains under the other, but because mine is over, I'm going to do 1 chain each side as a minimum. So even if you are over, still do the chain 1 underneath the armholes. So we're going to start joining. I'm sorry if that explanation was a little bit long. I just want to make sure everybody can do this yoke and not struggle to do it. So I just wanted to explain that and get that straight. So now we're going to chain 1, turn our work. So we're going to make a double crochet back into that same stitch. So then we're going to keep putting double crochets into every stitch until we get to our stitch marker right here. So I will meet you back here. So I'm back at my stitch marker, so we need to put a double crochet back into the stitch marker space, and then we need to chain 1. So then we're going to join our cardigan. So we're gonna, after you've chained 1, pass stitch markers together, and we're going to join with a double crochet where the stitch marker is. And then we're just going to put a double crochet into every stitch until you get to your next stitch marker. So that is my yoke so far. So keep going till you get to this stitch marker here, and I will see you there. I'm back at my stitch marker. So again, put a double crochet into that stitch with the stitch marker, chain however many you need to chain, and then we're going to match the stitch markers up, and into that chain the stitch with the stitch marker, put a double crochet. And then double crochets until you get to the end. Just like that. This is what you should have at the moment. So now we're going to do another row of double crochets. So you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and start doing your double crochets into each stitch. So I'm going to carry on with my double crochets, and I'll meet you when we're at the underarm. So I've reached the underarm, and now what we're going to do is put a double crochet into that chain there, into the stitch before the chain, sorry, and then into our chain, depending on how many you have. We're going to put a double crochet into there. Mine's a little bit tight. Double crochet, and then into the next double crochet, and then continue with double crochets. So continue with double crochets. This is what your underarm should look like. So we're going to continue, and we'll meet you back here. So for the next underarm is exactly the same. So we're going to go into that stitch before the chain, and then we're going to go into the stitch, into the chain, sorry, and make a double crochet, and then the one next to it, double crochet, and then double crochet until you get to the end. And then we are going to join our work together, and then we will start making the skirt, which is Alpine Stitch, which I really like the Alpine Stitch. I like how it comes out, and it is quite an easy stitch to make, to crochet. So that's another bonus of the Alpine Stitch. Once you have your rhythm, it's simple and easy. So I'm coming to the end of my row in just a moment. So after this row as well, I want to change my colour, but I'm using, I'll show you now, I'm using this cake. So in order for me to get the next colour, I'm going to have to take this colour out, snip it, and get the next colour. So that does take a little bit of time to ravel it all back up. So I'm going to chain one, bring my yoke together, and turn around, right, so you need to find your first stitch, which mine is right here, and we are simply going to slip stitch into that stitch there. I'm not going to chain one because I'm changing my colour. So sorry if you could hear that dog barking. I've just closed my window so we won't hear it anymore. Right, yeah, so I'm changing my colour. If you're not changing your colour, you just chain one, and I'll show you what to do next in a moment. So I'm going to switch off, change my colour, and I will be back. So I have just changed my colour, and now I'm going to chain two, 1 and 2, and then I'm going to chain my work, turn my work, sorry. So into this chain that you've just made here, we're going to make a double crochet, into this one here we're going to make a front post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, go through this post here, catch your yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now you can see that this one is now taken, so your next stitch is here. So we're going to put a double crochet into this stitch here, so then you're going to skip this stitch here and you're going to go into the next one and make your front post double crochet. And then you can see now that this one is now taken, so into this one, double crochet, and skip this one here because it's taken, into this one here, front post double crochet, and then into every one you're going to do exactly the same thing, being careful not to miss any of your stitches. So every once in a while you might want to just look back and make sure you haven't missed any. So I'm going to switch off now and complete mine up until here, and then I'm going to show you what to do the next row. So I've just got back round to my chain 2. So what we're going to do now is we're going to find our second chain, so 1 and 2, and we're going to slip stitch into that chain just like that, and then we're going to chain 2 again, chain 2. Now we're not going to turn our work for this one, so as you can see here we have a double crochet, so that now needs to be a front post double crochet. So make your front post, and then into the second one here we need a double crochet, so double crochet into the next stitch, into the next double crochet will be a front post double crochet, into the next is front post, so we need a double crochet, and it's that simple. So where you see a double crochet, you do a front post double crochet over it, and where you see a front post double crochet you do a double crochet, and you will get something that looks like this. So then you keep going. You keep working it up, and the longer it gets, the more you can see the pattern. So through this project I'm going to be changing my colours every so often. So this is all you are going to do for the rest of the skirt. Now we are going to make this however long we want to make the skirt. So I did a 3 to 6 months here. So I made this skirt. I'm just going to measure it quickly because I'm not too sure without looking at my notes. So I'll show you how to measure too while I'm here. So you go underneath the arm here, and we're going to measure it. So mine measured about 20 centimeters, excluding this here. So in all, with the edging as well, it was 22 centimeters. So that is what I did the 3 to 6 months. So like I said, you can do yours whatever you like however long you like it. It is totally up to you. I'm not sure how long I'm going to go with this one. I'm doing 6 to 9 months, so let me have a quick look at my notes. So my sleeve for the 6 to 9 would be 17.5, so maybe put another 5 centimeters onto that, which will be 22.5. Maybe I'll go a little longer, but I will let you know how long I do it anyway. So this is going to be the end of part 1. I hope this has been useful, and if you have any difficulty with this, you can leave a comment, or you could contact me through my email. So yeah, I hope you like this tutorial. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in part 2. Bye.